Alright, so this is going to act as an update video to what I've been doing. I've been doing nothing but grinding Diablo 4, okay? I wanted to get to Paragon 300, mostly because they did the mid-season campfire and said, listen, we're not nerfing Spiritborn, which I thought 100% they were going to do. They didn't do it, which basically says to me, at least as a player, is get it done now, this season, or you're never going to do it because the XP required is way, way too high. This took way too long, even with the insanely fast Spiritborn builds. Um, I'm gonna first react to my final run pit. You have to run like 2,100 pits to get 300. And then I'm gonna go in the game and show you like a guide slash showcase slash final stats. I'm gonna go over. I organized everything for this, but let's watch this final run. Also, I had to pull it off Twitch. I covered myself up and I had to mute it because it's got copyright. So I'm not trying to stick this on YouTube with the copyright. I'm gonna talk over it anyway. So I traded probably. I gave a guy like 100 Duriel runs to give me a bunch of opals. Um, to level from like 270 to 300. I always have opals. I always have my potions. Always have incense. Um, and I have 36 stacks of resolve. We'll talk about that when I go over the gear. Basically, my big problem with this game right now is that this is the only way to level up, and it's a huge problem. They either need to like nerf the XP required total XP because it's 24 billion. They need to nerf it by like half, or give you the option of doing other things to level up because doing this 2,100 times, I literally had to like I don't know how the average person is ever going to do it. I had to put something on my second monitor and literally not focus on the game for most of this. This is mind-numbingly like boring. Also, what I'm doing in the run right here, I keep looking at the XP code bar because I want the boss to get me to 300 and I want the mobs to get me to 300. But I was cutting it so close that I'm like, doesn't matter. It's um. But yeah, I was telling the chat and stuff that like I'm just checking to see how close I am, even though it was cutting it super close. Basically, had there been like 3 to 4 more rooms, it would have hit me. But um, I stopped right here because I'm like, I needed to calm down for a second because my hands. I was nervous for some reason. My hands were like shaking and stuff, and then like why? Because it's you just grind, but that's why I stopped here. I changed the music on my stream, and I had to get my hands like so I could keep doing this. Of course, it had to be the drowned sea hag, the one with the most. Um, it had to be the drowned sea hag, the one with the most health. I'm laughing because in the clip you can't see because I'm covering myself up, but um, in the clip I like throw my headset off. I'm like, fuck this game. Anyway, so that was the final run to 300. That was that. Now let's go into the game, and there should be sound now. Let's get out of here. Go to D4. Alright, now there should be some game sounds and stuff in the background, but let's go over final stats, Paragon, stuff like that. So let's see. When I started this season, the only real goal was to hit like Paragon like 100, I think. Um, because I wasn't really gonna push it, and then people figured out like 200 is like the old baseline 100, right? So I'm like, all right, I'll go to 200 and get all the base points we used to have. Then I'm like sitting there like Paragon 250, and I'm like, okay, how hard is it actually to go to 300? I saw a forum post that said 284 is literally halfway. And I'm like, no, come on, that can't be true. So I'm sitting there leveling to like 270, and I'm like, okay, maybe they're right. Maybe it is like halfway. They're not kidding, because 290 to 300, I could grind for like 4 hours and get one level. I really, really pushed it to get 299 to 300 in like one sitting. It's exponential growth, so the XP of the next level is always more than the last, right? Um, but yeah, let's go over some things. Uh, this is the most insane item I found this season. Well, no, that's not true. This I found. This is the first like quad great FX I found this season. It's not that it's insane mode. It's the first quad that dropped in the season. This is literally the first unique that dropped this season. I always keep the first unique, no matter how bad or good it is. That's why it's here. It's just the first unique that dropped in the whole season. I don't know why this thing's here. I have it unlocked, but it won't unlock it for me. I can't transmog to it, and it won't. Blizzard, can I please have my um? These are my Durl runs. Over here is all my consumables. I had like 1,000 steel, like distilled fear. I had like stacks and stuff. Look how many stacks of hearts I had. Basically, what I did is I traded all of them for just Duriel materials. Duriel's the only one I run. The other ones aren't like, and Duriel's irritating. She summons the little totems that you have to. This is just a tree box, but I trade everything else away for just Duriel mats because I don't care to run any boss with Duriel. Um, when I started, I had like 30 of every opal, probably more, probably like 50 of every opal at like level 200. Again, I traded other materials for Duriel materials, and then I gave a guy like 100 Duriel runs. He gave me like 30 of every opal. So that's how I needed the opals for XP. Um, this build, we'll talk about it. You always need Elixir Fortitude 2, max life by 20. It's literally a damage multiplier. Um, I got like I've traded runes down too for Duriel materials. Like I'm sure I've given up some really good ones for just Duriel materials because I don't care. Like I don't know. People want to trade. I'm like, just trade me an item for an item. I don't want to get the gold and have to trade with another person. So I'm sure I've given people a really good deal on some runes, but overall, I think I've found like, see, some of the really rare ones are real low because I just traded them like at like 298. Like yesterday, I traded some of them for some, traded some for some mats, some for some opals. Now I'm kind of regretting because I'm like way over on opals, but anyway. Um, yeah, I think this season I've probably had 100 of like every rune at some point. I just like again traded them away or because I don't really care. I mean, they're just their currency, but like again, I've traded like I'm sure I've like I'm sure I've gotten ripped off, but like I don't care. Um, this isn't even close to how many hordes I ran this season, dude. Uh, imagine this page, but like 15 more times. I love hordes. I've ran like every time I got a wave 10, I used to run like Yeah, I used to run them. Like, as soon as I got a wave 10, I would just run it. But then I'm like, if I gotta go for XP, I gotta be in the pit all the time. So these are the ones I've just saved up since. But I basically up until like basically 284 is when I decided, okay, I'm halfway. I'm just gonna live in the pit now. Before, I used to run. As soon as I got them, I'd run them. These are just my tributes. I just ran all my ancestral ones. Like, I had like 6 of the ones that give you like a mythic at the end. I ran them and deleted the mythics into sparks. Because why not? Um, go over some of the items in a second. Now, before I go over these items, I'm gonna go over the items I'm wearing for the speed. I got a video called like Barry Allen or something, fastest man alive. It doesn't really explain this build, but the reason I have the stuff I'm wearing is for the Barry Allen build. So we're gonna talk about the Barry Allen build, and then I can talk about the other items that are in the stash. So first off, Harlequin Crest. I nuked like 10 of these and crafted like 10. No, I nuked 10 of these and crafted like 5 of them until I got the greater effics on the cooldown. Um, yeah, for this build, it kind of has to be the cooldown. You have to triple crit, and well, you don't have to, but it makes this so consistent. If you triple crit, you get the GR on the cooldown, you triple crit it. Sam Jaw, because I'm always casting evade, like it's the only button I hold down. I have it set where when I hold down my evade, it presses 1 through 4 on my keyboard, so that I can just spam these 4 abilities. Um, but you get Sorcerer's Teleport, which teleports you through walls, and it goes twice as far. So that's cool. Oh, be quiet, Subo. Anyway, basically, Samja is the best for speed. However, if you want to do more damage, like if you want to run like 110s instead of 100s, like I did, you can put the rune in here that gives you max life. I had to get away from these people. Um, yeah, you can play with the rune that gives max life. It gives way more damage. It's literally like a 20% multiplier again. But I was one-shotting everything on 100, so that's what I ran. Let's see. Shroud of False Death. Pretty sure this is the best item in the game, and it's not even close. The only stat that matters on here is +1 to all passives. Every class, no matter what, having one of every passive is just like, it's bonkers. Um, I went for all stats and max life because again, on Spiritborn for whatever reason, max life is damage and all stats is just good. If I could change this, I would triple crit the max life actually because it would be way more damage. But I got tired of re-rolling. At one point, I ran out of veiled crystals, so I'm just like, I'm just gonna play the game with whatever it gave me. Um, Twitch.tv/legitwario actually gifted me these. He said he found these, and he was already 300. So he's like, listen, to help you on your journey to 300, I got some insane Omo gloves. I'm like, what are you talking about? And before, that's what we got to talk about. Before, I'll show you the gloves I was using before. And he gifted me to those at like 265 maybe. No, that's not the gloves I wore before. Neither of those. Here they are. This is what I wore up until Paragon like 265. Um, I'll explain why I roll armor on stuff in a second. Crit strike is always good. Eagle, like you want everything to crit because you have insane crit damage. So the more you can actually critical strike, everything dies instantly as soon as you hit it. Again, max life. Barrier is important. Storm Feather is the best. I double crit it, almost triple, but this was before Wario gifted me these. Again, I wish if I could move stats, if I could pick, I'd triple crit the crit strike. It's the only stat that matters on here. Um, the lucky hit is staggers bosses very fast, but doesn't matter if you one shot everything. Um, and it's got a perfect. They're literally perfect. It's got the 300% cap on there, so um, arguably for casuals, wearing a normal set of gloves is probably better. But I had to wear this insane mode Fists of Fate. Alright, next. Pants of Apprehension. I found these myself. This is probably the most insane item I self found during the season. Um, for a long time, I didn't have Scourge size on here. I actually had Barrier Generation. But then I realized Scourge was like giving me so much multiplier because of this aspect that I rolled it on the same item that the aspect, so I don't get confused. Like, I don't confuse myself. I put Scourge on the item that synergizes with the Scourge, right? Um, you need to triple crit the resolve. Resolve's insane. It multiplies everything with itself, with block, with. I can't explain to you how it works exactly, but I just know resolve stack. You have to triple crit. You need the 13 max resolve stacks, and then of course I'm putting purple gems in because barrier generation. We'll talk about that in a second when we get to the Paragon board. But yeah, you have to triple crit resolve. Um, these boots. This was something that was scuffed my entire season. I had so much trouble with boots. It's still not good. Um, the max life is not a Gurney FX. The Dex is like who cares? You one shot everything anyway. Um, the armor is very good. I need the armor. I'll explain why again when we get to the Paragon board. Um, actually, not even Paragon board. Item that's coming up. I'll explain. But basically, again, if I could pick, I would triple crit the evade cooldown and probably put some more points in armor in my Paragon board. But again, I had so much trouble with boots this season. There's like 5 other different boots in here that I bought these. I never even used these. Uh, I had these and I couldn't. No matter how many times I masterworked these, this is where I lost all my Veil Crystals. I couldn't get it to double crit anything. It just kept critting random things. So I gave up on these pair of boots. Look, here's another one I gave up on. These are scuffed because I can't roll. I need to roll evade cooldown and I can't because I used all the charges on this. So basically, this is like a season of failed boots. Um, this is just more three like these are for alts. They're full GR like items that I found. Uh, okay, let's talk about the weapon. You absolutely have to use an actual real weapon instead of a unique because you have to be able to put on primary Eagle Hall potency. This is actually even wrong. I'm supposed to double crit and get over 100% because it double dips. When it gets over 100%, it double dips again. But I was one-shotting everything already anyway. But you would get, like, you would double dip and then double dip again if this is over 100%. So, see this number? If you get over 100%, this number instantly jumps up to like 4. Um, don't know how it works. It's a bug. There's so many bugs with Spirit Born. But yeah, you need your normal weapon. It has to be, I learned this too, it has to be a pole arm. They have literally one single more point of DPS, which actually matters because it multiplies out with everything else. But also the highest attack speed and synergies with stuff in your like rank one to the shot of false death, one to all passives. The pull arm is gives you like crit damage, I'm pretty sure. And it has to be a pull arm. I learned that the hard way. I tried with a quarterstaff because I thought, oh, block chains. No. It has to be a pull arm. Again, if I could change, I would move Storm. I would triple crit the primary Eagle Hall. But again, I got so sick of masterworking and like, let's just blast. Um, this is absolutely important to this build. I didn't realize. Back to Zik, you have to be casting Concussive Stomp somehow. You could put it on your bar and cast it yourself, but you kind of really want it just auto cast. Basically, as you're flipping into certain monsters, it casts by itself. You're not doing it for the stun or anything. You're not. The only reason you're casting Concussive Stomp gives you barrier, which we're also going to talk about. Um, this is another thing that was gifted to me. Trying to think, either my brother or dad was playing and was like, "Hey, is this good?" All I saw was the GA on armor, and I'm like, "This is insano mode for my build." I could care less what else is on it. I need the total armor because armor equals damage. Um, I just saw the GA and I'm like, yes, please give that to me like yesterday. And again, it has to be triple crit max resolve. You will spend most of your time trying to build this build, trying to triple crit resolve. It's stupid, but you have to do it. It synergizes insane with everything. Um, I had another problem with a lot of rings this season. If the boots were scuffed, the rings were scuffed. Um, this one, I bricked this one by getting protector. Like I kept rolling and it kept getting protector cooldown no matter what I did. I needed one. I wanted like gorilla stun or something. I don't remember what I was doing, but I bricked this ring. Um, I bricked this ring by rolling mobility damage. Um, when I was playing Quill Volley, this was actually my necklace because I didn't need such big armor when I was playing Quill Volley. I just needed Florida Furnace was actually insane because when you play Quill Volley, most skills are actually Jaguar, even though they're not. So this was my neck for a while. And then I actually found this in one of my Duriel runs. What's crazy is I dropped a Mythic Unique and this, and I was so excited looking at the Mythic Unique that I wasn't looking at this. I look over at this and I'm like, wait, this is actually a perfect Banished Lord's Talisman. And then when I was playing Quillval, I obviously switched from this to this, but this is easily the best item I found all season, and it's not even close. This is literally perfect, and it triple critted the max life, which again, on Spiritborn, max life equals damage. This is the best item I found all season. Myself, self found. Everything else I bought or traded for. Um, again, this is another Quill Volley item. I just rolled triple crit cooldown. It basically just maxes your vigor all the time. I'll do a different guide for that, but uh, these are some other things I found. Again, primary eagle. This was this is my weapon before the one I'm wearing now. Arguably this might be better, but I didn't I didn't test it. I just again once I hit like 270, I'm like I'm going for it. Um, this is in case my Shroud of False Death. Like I was thinking they were gonna nerf something at the mid season, so I'm like I wonder if it's gonna be Shroud. So I picked this up just in case. Um, Here's another weapon. This is my first weapon when I went to Barry Allen build. Um, it completely it bricked because it instead of rolling store Eagle Hall, it bricked because it rolled Seeker, and I had already found this one, so this is entirely bricked. I should just go nuke it at the guy, but it's cool to keep for reference. For the longest time, I was playing Spirit Valley, and this was my weapon. I found a 4GA off Duriel. I looked at it, and it was like kind of it. Everything is it's a GA everything, but it's beyond mid on the crit damage. Um, be quiet, Subo. Uh, this is the Pit 150 helmet. I had to wear this when I was pushing Pit 150. I needed the resist all. I needed the resource, and honestly, the max resolve again. If I could triple crit max resolve, I could have like 52 stacks of resolve. Two things: nothing would ever hurt me, and it would be another like 22 times multiplier. Um, I only wore this to push to pit 150, and then I've never looked at this again. Um, it's just max. I just slammed it with Masterworks. Think I don't even think I cared what Masterworked on it. I think that's it for the items. What's this? Oh, this is literally the first item I ever got off Durion, like Torment 1. That's why it's here. Just more fun things I found, like a 3GA spear. But yeah, most of these things are just for Quill Valley. Again, I'll go over Quill Valley stuff later. Um, so as Mythic Uniques, I found like I have 8 sparks right now. 4 of these are Endurials, just that I melted down. I melted like a Shroud of False Death. I melted Shattered Vow. I melted this whatever this thing is. I melted a Tyrell's Might. Uh, I had like if I was to guess how many Mythic Uniques I found the whole season, like 35 maybe. But yeah, I melted a lot of them, crafted what I wanted. I got alts and stuff that they don't matter. I wanted one of every mythic, so I melted 2 of them, made the one that I didn't have yet. Um, don't ask me how to farm mythics. I don't think there's a legitimate, like, a good way. Obviously, I like doing Duriel. He's easy now that you summon him and you can kill him. Like, one of the best features they added was altar respawning. Um, I like Duriel personally. You do what you want to do to try to get him. I wish, like, they need to buff the drop rates of these things from, like, the tree for casuals. A casual should be able to see one of these in their lifetime. Um, yeah, so let's talk about the aspects. I forgot to talk about the aspects on the gear. Um, Again, wear normal gloves if you're not high Paragon, and like don't. Basically, you need like maybe they don't have to be this insano mode, but I would only switch to these with this something this good. Otherwise, wear normal gloves, and you want barrier one on. What's it called? You want conceded aspect. You always have barrier on this build, so it's just 30% more damage all the time. Whereas this is like it can either one shot the boss or do nothing. So again, I would only switch if you find Insano Mode Fist of Fate. Okay, what's next? Um, Apprehension. Honestly, this is the only one I question if you could change it out and play without Scourge. Um, Everything's dead so fast, I kind of don't know if Scourge at like the 40%. Um, Maybe, like I said, maybe you want to play Concussive Stop with Max Life. Maybe that's better. Um, I'm going to say for speed, though, just stick with what's here. Apprehension plus Scourge. Scourge fears everything it touches, and it'll be touching everything all the time because of this menacing aspect. Scourge continuously affects enemies around you. Basically, what it is, it changes its Scourge into working like an aura. Or instead of you just casting it being an on the ground effect, it's now an aura on you, is what it does. Um, you could literally have the min roll of this aspect and it would be fine. You can cast Scourge like every 5 seconds anyway. So yeah, it acts as like an aura that fears everything. Fears, even though they don't move, but okay. Um, it's absolutely important that you put redirected force on your weapon because your weapon gets double dip. It gets 140%, but it's actually not 140%. It is 140 times 23, which comes out to a ridiculously huge number. Uh, this is just when I'm standing down. Take this number and multiply it by 140 multiplied by 23 again. This is like, I think it's 23,000% when I'm fighting. And again, that's why you want crit like chance, because you want to be critting things, because you're doing 23,000 times more damage to them. Again, I don't like the town stats, but it is what it is. Another one you absolutely have to put interdiction on your necklace, because you get 50% more block when it's on your necklace. And right now, it's bugged where block goes over 100%, and every additional 100% you go over just double dips everything again. So when you have, like I said, I have 36 resolve stacks. So let's see, what's 36 times? Um, 828. So I get 16. This multiplies my damage by 16 times. Again, interdiction has to go on your necklace, not optional. The rest of these you can kind of slot in one or other, but the ones that aren't optional, redirected force always on your weapon, interdiction always on your necklace. Here's a personal choice. Fell Soothsayers on a ring. You can use conceded if you want. However, I like Fell Soothsayers because anytime you kill a little mob near the boss, it has a chance to instantly nuke the boss. And that's the only reason I use it. It's not good for the clears time. Your clear time will be way faster by using conceded, probably. I don't know. I didn't test these things again. I just decided to let's blast. We got the setup. Go. Um, Again, I would triple crit Storm Feather Potency, but I just Everything was working fine. I played with it. Um, but yeah, there Felch just gives you a chance to instantly kill any boss in the game. Doesn't matter what it is, it just instantly blows up. And it's a whole lot of math. Other people have videos on it. It's bugged to shit. I don't know why it works this way, but yeah, this is a good choice if you don't like seeing the boss for any longer than like 2 seconds. Um, and this is the one right here that you have to. You don't have to do this. This is the way you get the big DPS. Casting a grill skill, which is getting a concussive stomp, uh, increases your weapon damage by 30% up to 1500. You have to have unbuffed, standing in town, not doing anything. You have to have 5,000 armor. On Torment 4, um, the way it breaks down is to get the max benefit from this unyielding hits. You have to have 5,000 armor no matter what, always. Um, I even am overcapped by a little bit. I would even recommend getting 5,100 armor. Here's why. In the calculation, for some reason, when you're running pits or anything else, you know the ghost monsters in the game? They reduce, I don't know if they reduce or ignore 100 of your armor. So, to hit every monster in the game for the maximum amount of damage, you have to have 5,100 armor. Now, 5,100 armor, sorry. You have to have 5,100 armor to hit every monster in the game for the max damage. Now, if you don't care that much about the ghosts, you want to lose like, I'm talking like tens of DPS, you can hit 5,000 will be fine. Um, yeah, I don't know why the ghosts are just annoying anyway, but yeah. So as far as your stats, you don't really care. Resists don't matter for this build. You always have enough barrier to where nothing ever hurts you. Um, with all this barrier generation on stuff, again, that's I put it on a lot of my items. Um, stats. Um, yeah, you don't resists are optional. The barrier keeps you alive. Obviously, crit strike, crit damage. Um, they say on a lot of the guides your barrier bonus is supposed to be like 126%, because that equals the base life. I don't remember the calculation. Basically, if 126% means your barrier is bigger than your life full. Me, I'm missing. I could get on 126% if I took off Scourge size on here. But again, to me, it didn't matter at all. I was killing everything instantly. Nothing ever hurt me. Uh, maybe on hardcore, you'd always go barrier generation. It's probably why they said that. Um, but yeah, the breakpoint for this is 126%. I have 93. I was fine. Um, yeah, I don't understand lucky hit chance because of the Fists of Fate. Yeah, say there's just a chance, like a chance up to 101%. Basically, every time you hit something, you stun it, you freeze it. Bosses get staggered like instantly. Um, Stat here that's really good is cooldown reduction. Obviously, it all comes from Harlequin Crest anyway. Um, Materials. I guess you could take a look at what's. I mean, I'm like 100k of everything now. The only thing really left to do in the game is farm like Opposite for alts. Everything else, as long as you've been salvaging stuff that you don't need, you'll be fine on mats. It was a huge problem at the beginning of the season, but now like 100k of everything. Spirit Hall. Obviously, Eagle has to be the main one. Again, if your weapon has main Hall potency, you can get this number to be 4 times as much. Um, yeah, I don't know why this number's. I think it's bugged too. I think they put like an extra zero in here somewhere or something. I think they meant 192% and it ended up being this. Um, Secondary Spirit. I picked this because I want to be unstoppable, and again, 2 resolve stacks doesn't seem like a lot, but it's literally 20% damage again. Um, I was told if you really want to like do a lot of damage, you could go Eagle Eagle. Eagle Gorilla doesn't work. Eagle Jaguar doesn't work in this build. Centipede doesn't do anything for you. Your choices are Eagle or Gorilla. Um, when you get Insano mode gear, you go Gorilla. When you're first starting out, I would do Eagle. But yeah, I like the unstoppable all the time. Alright, skill tree. Let's take off the hat so I can show you without in the chest. So here's the skill tree. Uh, Technically 4 points in Thunder Spike. I just put 5 because I had an extra point. Um, you have to do accelerated Thunder Spike. This is what makes the whole build work. As you invade, it shoots the storm feathers. Um, you don't need to pick anything here. This is what I was talking about. Why pole arms are so good. Lucky hit chance to make them vulnerable. Because of Fist of Fate, it's literally every attack. It's every attack anyway because Eagle. But it like double vulns them. Again, yet another bug. Um, Obviously Apex, they're vulnerable all the time and they're double vuln, so they get double again. They take 18% actually, and double against elites. Um, you don't need points here at all. I like them because it's just 10% DR. But again, you don't. When you get this insane gear, you don't need. Nothing ever hurts you, so you could take points out of there if you wanted. Um, Mirage is very good. You're always evading, so you just get like 95% dodge. Unrestrained power, you need this one for sure. You're literally always unstoppable because a gorilla is 12% more damage. Um, Ravager, replenishing Ravager. This basically makes it so when a Stormfeather hits an elite, it actually hits them twice. Um, it says an additional 4 times, but for some reason the feather divides it by half. So it's just your Stormfeather's hit an elite twice. It's just a good button to have on your bar. And again, when I'm evading, my keyboard presses 1 through 4, so I'm always getting Ravager. It's like these 4 buttons are always up. Um, this doesn't matter at all, but you need to get this to get Perseverance. 1.5 damage reduction per stack resolve. Uh, it's like because I have 36 stack resolve, it's like having shield wall constantly. I can only make WoW references. I'm a warrior player. Um, Here's something I did. Actually, you should do. You can put a lot of points into Armored Hide, reduce its cooldown by a lot. This is the main thing that like gives you 100% block. But what it's not telling you is it's 100% block it's just doubling whatever your block already is. So remember I said that 828%? It's actually now 1600. Again, more Spiritborn math. You have to be like a super genius to figure some of this stuff out. Um, Concussive Stomp. It doesn't. You don't need these. Well, actually, you do need enhanced concussive stomp. You do not need adaptable, uh, and you can't use reinforced. This is bugged and actually doesn't do anything. I just like to concussive stomp again every time I run into a pack of mob. I stomp, so the next 3 attacks are dodged no matter what. Uh, it's just a guarantee. Like melee monsters can. I don't think melee monsters can ever hit you if you're playing this build right, but you definitely need enhanced. This gives you 10% barrier, which again, barrier generation. It's your whole globe. Um, Scourge, obviously, you don't need adaptable Scourge. Uh, you do need enhanced Scourge. I just like adaptable Scourge because again, it's lifesteal. If something does on the off chance do a point of damage to me, it's healed back instantly. Because again, this is like an aura on you. Um, yeah, you definitely need enhanced Scourge because it's 50% versus crowd controlled, which is all of them all the time. You don't need adaptable Scourge. Um, just pick it up anyway because it's a little bit more damage, lifesteal or whatever. Um, Patient Guard, you only need 1 point here because uh, if you put 1 points, it only ever gives you 10% block, which is the only part you care about. You never stand still, so 10% block. Um, you probably don't need points here with the console storm setup. I just like this for when I start a rift and I evade, and the first room has no mon. Like, where the fuck are the monsters, Blizzard? Uh, this is just good to get your barrier rolling right away. That's the only thing it does. Besides that, this you don't need this, but it's anything that says barrier in this build is good. So, um, resilient again for some reason max life equals damage, so you're always casting Concussive Stomp every time you run into something. 15% more life is 15% more damage. Um, any synergies with Evade, uh, Brilliance is amazing. This is 10% more damage all the time. And you need, absolutely mandatory, you need acceleration. The more evade charges you have, the faster it resets with cooldown reduction. So you need these two. These two are pretty much mandatory. Uh, Potent. This is just again, if they're not one shot, they're going to be now because uh, for some reason everything's a skill. I'm not sure. Oh, Ravager is. This makes it so when you hit something, it stacks to 30 instantly. Again, if it's not instantly dead, it will be. Um, Guides had a lot of points taken out up here and put into like weird stuff down here. I never use these 3 nodes. The ones that matter here are resolution. You just need a point here to get the supremacy. This alone is why I use personally Centipede over Jaguar. Jaguar is technically better because you can jump through walls. However, this is my ultimate skill is never down. So I get 30% more damage all the time with Centipede. Whereas Jaguar, it diminishes a little bit here and there. With Supremacy and the Devourer, it's 30% damage all the time, no matter what. This is single-handedly one of the like best synergies is using this and Supremacy. Key passive is Adaptive Stances. You got a lot of choice here, actually. The only one you can't use is Noxious. Prodigy's Tempo. From like level 1 to 150. Let's say you want to do Barry Allen from the beginning. You could actually do it. Instead of using Adaptive Stances, you play Prodigy's Tempo. And you don't need any cooldown. This resets your cooldowns constantly. You can play Barry Allen from the beginning if you want. It's very hard to set it up, and it looks casual friendly, but it's really um, you got to know what you're doing to play Prodigy's Tempo. But this makes it so you don't have to use cooldown on anything ever. You really this is the non-mythics. Here's how I'll put this. This is the non-mythic unique's choice. Vital Strikes. Tried it for a long time. For a long time, I mean like level 200 to like level 240. This is insane, and actually, like, the way it reads sucks. But what it's actually saying is you just do 45% more damage to everything because everything gets re-vulnerable instantly. The issue with this is I don't care about 45% more damage when everything's dead instantly anyway. So, that leaves you with adaptive stances. If you're playing like I play, where all these buttons, these 4 buttons are being pressed continuously, this will cycle itself. You always have this buff because it'll just, every skill is considered like a gorilla on a jaguar. See how it's like gorilla, jaguar, centipede, eagle, gorilla. So this is very intuitive. It cycles itself. It gives you huge core stats. I'm talking like I think I have like 5k dexterity, and um, let's say in the couple seconds because it only like changes type every like 3 seconds. For those 3 seconds, you have movement speed, damage reduction. It's just like everything there is good. Okay, so enough about this. Let's talk about the Paragon board. I'm not going to go over the whole thing because there's so many points. I'm just going to go over the main spirit, fulminate, drive to build your always moving. I'll do a more in-depth Paragon thing later. Um, Talon, convergence, vicious shield, jagged plum. Now let's talk about the vicious shield. I wouldn't build this build right now and try to do it because this is what they said they're fixing. They said for some reason this is bugged, and this is what causes everything in the else in the build to have really bad. Like you have to be a mathematician to figure this shit out. This node is the reason. They said for some reason this is triple dipping, double dipping, everything with every other ability. And they said they said this is so bad they might just replace this node with something else because they don't know how to fix it. Subo, be quiet, man. Um, I don't know if it's trust strength for this. Yeah, whatever. Um, Colossal and Sapping. Um, Again, I'll go more. I'll go over the board in a different video because there's a lot of stuff in here. Uh, it's too much. Like I gotta show you just the baseline. This is the final board like at 300. Um, maybe I'll explain like what you should be at like 200. And I'll use like an offline thing so I can reduce the amount of total points I have. Uh, oh, that's why I didn't have strength for that. Um, yeah, so that's the final stats. Um, I guess the main takeaway is had to get it done this season. Um, had to play this class because it's freaking everything's broke, and it was fun. But I really hope they rework it next season. Uh, yeah, that's it. Peace.